Well, folks, good evening to you one and all, and a little bit of chaos in the background this evening. A lot of changes that have been made with Facebook and the way that they've got the settings and what have you. So this is actually going out to my personal page, then being shared to Second Gear, and then being shared by Frankie Innes from there. So not exactly sure exactly how it's going to work, but hey, that's the way it is. So good evening to one and all. Great to be here with you Tuesday night. I love doing what we do. A big thanks to everybody that makes it possible. Progress Precision Engineering, Vescus Oval, biggie coming up at Vescus Oval. Oh, it's going to be something else. Luca Patat, it's going to be next weekend. Worcester Gearbox Center, Neanderthal Racing. Very much looking forward to seeing. He's got 7 cars out at Kalani on Saturday, and then on his way up to Samola Hill Climb with Davy Joubert, and I'm not sure how many other cars he's got going there. So we're going to be linking up with Neanderthal and Davy Joubert, and it'll be part of the Samola 2024 Legends program that we're going to be doing. Authentic Autos, Maxim Batteries, Majestic Racing, Entertain, Panel Beaters and Workshops, Redline Group of Company, Access Auto, Kalani International Raceway. Saturday, we're going to be there. In fact, we're going to be having a chat with Marco Busi and the boys. They are down at Kalani at the moment with a bit of promo stuff, and we're going to go live across to them, probably very right in the beginning of the show. In fact, before we even get to the Redline Group of Companies diary as such. Access Auto, Skull Racing, Fifth Avenue Centre, and that's the New Point S group of companies, Capricorn Petroleum, Cape Gullis Raceway. We're going to be speaking to Rainer Alberts about what's happening there. They've got a biggie coming up as well. And then, of course, Wonderful Developments, Must Be Nice Clothing, and RSM. A big thanks to all of these people. So, without further ado, while we've got a link with Kalani, because the link's not very good, and if it drops, apologize for that. But let's get to the guys at Kalani. Big race coming on Kalani Saturday. It'll be round number 3 of the local series, and it's full house to the point where they're going to be doing a whole lot of qualifying on Friday. Major uproar about that, but it is what it is. But a full program for Saturday, and the GTI Challenge guys, one of the premier classes, they're actually down at Kalani at the moment. Chairman Zaki Hendricks, Vice Chairman Marco Busi, they are together. Let's have a quick shofty and see if we can get the guys up with us. There we go. Mr. Zaki Hendricks, he's the guy with the left-hand drive cave on your left-hand side of your screen, and the guy with the right-hand side cave, that's Marco Busi. Guys, good evening to you. How's it going?
How's it, Gary? How are you doing?
How's it, Gary?
Fantastic. Marco, apologies for having to be on live TV with Zaki Hendricks, but yeah, it goes with the territory, I suppose. Zaki, Chairman, once again, GTI Challenge 2024. Zaki, going amazingly well. Some awesome racing you guys have had so far this year.
No, definitely the season got off with a nice little bang, literally. So now we're very happy. We got our API banner. There you can see the banner, the background there, API. So we got them on board for this year, which is awesome. And yeah, we're just very excited. Our numbers are very high at the moment. Class B is awesome. We got a lot of guys in Class B. Class A is once again, they phenomenal. They are just they basically taking the show, and it's awesome the way they're racing Class C as well. We got new guys coming in Class C for this particular race now. Round 3 coming. I think we got about 5 or 6 new Class C drivers entering, and yeah, it's going to be awesome.
The Brat Pack. Marco, you also out there on track with the Class A guys. Zaki, you were the Class B guys. There was a time that Class A was like the stuff. It is still this stuff, but you guys must be feeling the pressure from the Class B and the Class C, which is becoming very competitive. I mean, Zaki, you guys have had some off tracks with some Class B battles recently. But Marco, right there up front, what has changed? Is Umpi a little bit slower, or is everybody just caught up that you guys can go 6 laps in and all 6 of you are sitting literally when the one hits the brakes, everybody else hits the brakes? What's changed? Is it the way that the rules is implemented, or is it just that everybody is now on that level?
Yeah, so that's actually a very good question. I think it's a bit of both. I'd say it's maybe two or three things. We've changed the rules up a bit to make it a bit better. We used to in former years hand penalty weights or ballast weights or success ballast to the winners and or the top three in order to slow them down and kind of bring the rest of the pack into the race. And we decided, well, we saw that it wasn't really doing much, and instead it was actually just hindering the front three guys in terms of performance, and budget wise we just do more damage to discs and pads and stuff quicker, and you'd be slightly slower but not slow enough to kind of make the racing interesting. And the same people were coming out on top, so we implemented the reverse grid, so that's the top six invert after the first heat of the heat one's race results. And it's I honestly don't think we have ever looked back since.
No.
So it's that, coupled with the fact that I think everyone's put in a lot of effort, and the times are a lot closer now because people are putting in the effort that they need to, you know what I mean, and to get the cars where they need to be. So the racing's at a high level. Everybody's got a lot of experience, and they're putting in the time that they need to. So it just shows you there's guys that with plenty years of karting experience that are in the front there, and there's guys that are there that have no karting experience. We had old Skulk, who he was a rugby player 3 years ago, and now he's a front-running Class A driver. Nathan Victor was a top motocross rider, nothing to do with four wheels. He's now at the front of Class A and currently leading the Polo Cup Championship. So we've got a wide variety of talents in Class A, which makes it interesting, because at the moment any one person on the day in the top six can pull off a win. Coupled with our now reverse grid, if you're there and you're doing the times and you're pulling away first, even though you finished sixth in the first heat, you've got a chance to win it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, the gaps between the guys is now so small that the slipstream effect is bigger than the gaps between the top six for all in Class A. Zaki, the guys in Class B, just as hectic as the front end of Class A, no doubt about it. Does it make life a lot easier for you guys having the gap in the pull away that you fighting your Class B battle, and you don't have the back end of Class A interfering in what's just as a titanic a struggle as what is the front end of Class
A? That's a very good question, because back in the day we used to all pull away on our times on the one light. So if a Class A car was struggling, he would actually be behind a Class B car, and and vice versa with a Class C car. Now that we're all pulling away now with respective classes, we're actually fighting with each other in Class B and in our respective classes. So it boils down to what type of driver you are in your own class. And you can't gain an advantage by trying to overtake a Class A car and having in between yourself and a Class B car and trying to gain an advantage by getting away and using that Class A car maybe for slipstream, because he will be faster than you down the main straights. So it boils down to, it works out perfectly at the moment. I would love to have a one light start, but in our classes, but that is another debate for another day. But coming back to the question, we're all racing each other. We're not racing each other, plus there's a wild card in between. So anybody can win the race. And because our series, our classes and series are so tight with each other, we're all within 1 second of each other. There's 6 or 7 guys like Class A. They're all in within 1 second. Class B, they're all in with 1 second as well. There's almost 12 guys that's racing together, of which 8 of them is doing all the same times, basically. And it's anybody's race to win it. Someone makes a mistake, that's your problem.
Awesome stuff. Okay, so you say you've got a good couple of extra cars that's coming in now. Are they all entering into Class C, the newcomers?
All the newcomers are coming to Class C. That's where they basically start. They all got race experience from other categories and other karting experience as well. So they have been vetted. Thursday and Friday will be the final vetting process for those new drivers as per our rules. And if they qualify and they're doing the time that they need to be in, then they will be allowed to race. And so they are quite good.
Yeah, how do you actually determine that? I say now I've got a car, I want to come and race. I know this Mark van Tienje and this Van Eden Oak, and I want to go and play with them. How do you determine by the end of Thursday if these guys can join you? What's the criteria?
Look. I mean, we have a couple of experienced guys on the committee that kind of know what to look out for in terms of just general awareness, which is the most important thing. Doesn't matter what times you're doing. Ultimately, as long as you're aware of what's going on around you and your reaction times to, how can I say, an incident if you are spinning, and the decisions you make, because generally the new guys do tend to spin every now and then, so you'll get a chance to see what's happening or what they do in those reactions, in those situations, and how they react. And based on that, we can make a decision. I mean, you also got another rule to back it up, which is the 110% rule. So they have to be within 110% of the top qualifier in their class, which is very easy to do, even though, how can I say, you might still either you are a dangerous driver or not, or not safe just yet. And still be within that 110%. So that's just something we, as a safety net, we look out for.
But I don't think you can come into GTI Challenge and make a bit of akkies and think you're going to get away with it. I think the boys will sort you out very, very quickly. Make no mistake. Zaki, personal question: why stick with Class B? I mean, you're a multiple champion, you're the chairman, etc., etc. What's the draw card to be in Class B and not go and climb in there up front?
For me, Class B has always been. I started in Class B way back in 2005, and I haven't elevated to Class A or downgraded to Class C. The car is just perfect. It's just fast enough. It's not as fast and quick as a Class A car is, but more in terms of the budget. I don't want to spend that amount of money for a Class A car, so therefore I can rather spend the same amount, not the same amount, but a little bit less for a Class B car. So it falls into my little budget. I don't have a sponsor per se. Wheelworks sponsors my car, so it still comes out of my pocket because I am Wheelworks. So at the end of the day, whatever I spend on the vehicle, I have to make amends for it.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, my wife looks at my bank account and she sees what's happening, and the next minute she's got a new pair of shoes on her feet. So yeah, I have to watch what I spend.
Yeah, our biggest fear is always that the day we pass away, our wife sells off the racing equipment at what we told her it actually costed. It's going to be one hell of a loss.
Yeah, true.
Marco,
True.
to you,
In my case, I try to keep it open cards.
Yeah. To everybody at GTI Challenge, awesome stuff. Give the guys a big thumbs up from the commentary side. Awesome to commentate on you guys. And just for interest's sake, the first round of the year with IMUSAT, 11,000 views overall.
Yeah.
Round number 2,
That's good.
9,200 views, over 20,000 views there's been on Kalani International on those 2 events. And I think GTI Challenge and numerous of the other classes can step up and say, we're the reason for that. So well done to you guys. Well done on what you are doing for API Property Group and the promotion of all your other sponsors. I don't know if you would like to mention your sponsors before we move along.
Yeah, we got API Property Group, who is our main sponsor. Then we've got Spice Maker, Hydrocore, Hydraulics, Wheelworks. We've got Spice Maker, Authentic Autos. We've got Dunlop as well, Alpine Auto House, Racebook, and RV Digital. And we've got MTK Eggs, TVGA, which is Table Bay Glass. And yeah, that's all our sponsors for the year for Rolling Motorsport, Snap Change. Yeah, we got them all. And I'm going to pop around for this race meeting coming up. I'll pop around upstairs in the commentary box because I'm sitting this one out, unfortunately, due to car problems. So I'll come and visit you guys and give you some feedback while the race is on.
Have you ever commentated before, Zaki?
No, but you don't want to give me the mic because I might just start singing.
I'll see you on Saturday. Don't be scared. You never know. All I'm doing is I'm just following what Marco has said to me, what the boys would like, that we must. Yeah, you'll find out on Saturday. Thanks very much for joining us. Cheers, guys. Have fun.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
What a lekker group of guys, eh? GTI Challenge Killarney International Raceway, and they're doing some promo there at Killarney International this evening, and doing some interviews and what have you. One of the nicest classes to commentate on. But there's so much good racing that's going to be happening at Killarney on Saturday. Definitely not one to be missed. What's happening at Killarney on Saturday, no doubt about it. Off to the shops. Be back with you in a jiffy. So often we have people that, most of the time, we have people that have done lots and experienced so much in motorsport, but very seldom do we go and look at new blood, somebody that's just pitched, just become new on the scene and has already made quite an impression. So tonight I want to do something exactly like that. There's a guy that spent lots of time on the grandstand and recently just decided, enough, I'm going to now go and race as well. So, okay, that's a pretty decent idea. Let's just kill that. So one of the new people that have started behind the steering wheel recently, and that at Springbok. Good evening to you, Andre Jacobs. Gaan het goed?
Hi Gary, goed en self.
Lekker man, lekker. So, okay, let's accept that most people don't know Andre Jacobs because Andre Jacobs hasn't exactly been on the track for very long. Your experience up until you recently bought yourself a racing car, what have you raced before?
Go-karts at I think it's in Canalwalk 1 or 2 times and just watching the oval track since a kid and PlayStation.
Wow. So, okay. And then recently you decided to buy yourself a stock car.
Yes, I was in a position to buy one and I just decided, well, I'll give it a try. And I haven't looked back.
Okay, so wat is jou tuisbaan en hoeveel keer het jy al gery tot sover?
Springbok, ek ry in die Makelaar-Valbaan. Ek het al 2 races gereis daar. Eerste reis rookie klas, tweede gekom. Die tweede reis was die naweek gewees in die 1660 klas, ook tweede gekom. En ek het 'n naweek voor dit het ek by Weskus Oval loop ry, net so 'n bietjie om te loop oefen vir die snoek en patat. En toe het ek vierde gekom. So ja, ek kan nie wag vir snoek en patat nie. Kar is geset op, alles is reg.
En dit nadat jy nou geoefen het in public karting by Century Karting?
Ja, basically 3 times. Yeah.
So for a man that's been on the grandstand that makes this decision at this point in your life and bugger it, let's just do it. What's your advice to other people sitting on the grandstand that have not made that decision yet? Wat sê jy vir daai mense? Was dit die regte besluit? Hoe voel jy daaroor?
Yes, ek is eintlik spyt ek het dit nie vroeër gedoen nie. So ja, die mense wat kyk moet mooi kyk en tips vang by die ander manne wat ry soos Osie Weyers en Hansie Moore en daai manne wat kan ry. En ek meen ek dink ek het seker my baie gesteel met al die jare wat ek langs aan gesit het en vir hulle gekyk het. So ja, ek het net spyt ek het dit nie vroeër gedoen nie. So ja, al die mense wat kyk, dit moet maar daai raad volg en dit vroeër doen as hulle wil begin ry. En nie wag 15 jaar later nie.
Fantastic. Okay, so jy gaan ook snoek en patat toe. I mean, jy het nou 3 wedrenne gery, 3 byeenkomste wat jy nou bygewoon het met 'n kar. Hoe is jou senuwees? Is jy skrikkerig of is jy net excited or what goes through your mind in this build up towards this snoek en patat 120 cars and you're going to be riding in your own car, going out onto the track, not sitting on the grandstand, watching from the outside?
Yes, ek sal sê, die eerste reis was ek nogal op my senuwees. Jy is maar altyd 'n bietjie nervus, veral wat met my gebeur het in die heel eerste reis. Die stuurwiel het 'n quick coupler en hy het bout wat nie reg gelatch is nie. En ek dink ek het nog 'n video van dit. Ek het die derde keer om die draai gekom by die Kuipers se draai in Namakwa Oval baan. Toe ek nog so om die draai gaan en hom probeer keer. Toe sit ek by die stuurwiel in my hand en ek was eerste gewees en die ou agter my en ek kan nie draai nie want die stuurwiel is so en die kar maak so en ek tap net die ignition switch af, maar dit het veel gehelp en toe mis hy Datsuntjie my soos met 5 mm. En ja, dit het nogal 'n bietjie geskrik, maar ja, dit is lekker.
Wow, no, that's awesome. So for once, folks, we speak to somebody that's new in the sport and doing it and loving it. Andre, looking forward to seeing you on the circuit again. Unfortunately, I won't be there for your next meeting at Snooker Patat. But good luck. Welcome from the grandstand into the seat. Hope you have a brilliant career going forward. A closing word from your side.
Dankie en almal wat kyk, kom ondersteun ons en hou net dankie vir een van my borge, Red Earth NDT en dan vir Zayo truck and trailer wat my mechanic is. So ja, baie dankie en dan sien ons julle daar by Snoek en Patat. Slaat vas.
Wastecape Space. Just hold. Yes, it's the 2017. I've got it in my hand. Perfect. See you in an hour.
Wastecape Motor and Bucky Spares are located in Blackheath Industrial. We have a wide range of good used parts. We also do new parts, new tires, new engine components, mechanical repairs. We rebuild engines. The service that we provide exceeds our reputation. You'll always find someone to assist.
So, going back to semi-normality, we didn't even get around to actually doing the Redline Group of Companies diary when we started the show because of the fact that we had to, while we had that link, get through to Marco and Zaki Hendricks. So, yeah, let's have a look, see what's happening in motorsport this week coming up now. Oudtshoorn, Arnold de Jager Arena, they got a family fun day, and that is the last event that you can go and race at Oudtshoorn before the Klein Karoo, which is the last week in next month. That one definitely not to be missed. SAGT and SAES racing at the Swartkops. That is their second round. That's going to be going down this weekend. And Stephen Koenig, in fact, is going to be the man that's going to be behind the microphone there. The man that won the second gear commentators award, if you want to call it that, a while back. And has he now not gone on to become a commentator of note? Wow. I've got a bit of a recording because he's actually live right now with Raceface doing some iRacing. Northern Region Regional Motocross Round number 3, Bloemfontein Off-Road Club. Aldo Scribanti in the Eastern Cape, a regional drag racing event this weekend. Power Series at Killarney. As you know, Power Series at Killarney, it's awesome. On iNewsat, you can watch this. Over 20,000 views of the first 2 races of the year. But there's nothing like being at the races on the day. Definitely, you got to be there for that one. Border Motocross event in Ganubi. PE OTR Greenbushes out PE side, gravel oval track. They're going to be having a race meeting. East London Border Karting event. They're going to have a karting race there in East London. Randfontein Oval. They've got their winter season opener, and they've also got that fastest lap competition. That's something that they do that side of the world, which is also very, very nice. Big Hole Oval, round number 2 under the new management. Remember, it's Stefan Kotzer that was doing it last year. This year, there's new management. Stefan just got too many business things which he needs to get to. So handing the reins over and giving a healthy club over to a new committee, looks like they're doing pretty well there. So that's also not to be missed. Big Oval, round number 2 for 2024. Bosveld Veteran Club, Mokopane Showgrounds, 6 p.m. start there at Bosveld. That's Gravel Oval, Bredasdorp. They've got their club final. We're going to have a chat with Rainer Alberts now about what is happening there and the future of Cape Agulhas Raceway as well. National Hot Rod Tour, Richards Bay at the ZCBF Showgrounds, round number 1. And remember, Kosivea's ex-champion is back in the series again as well. So there'll be lots of Cape Town interest in what's happening with that. And there obviously will be live streaming on that as well. Idubi Karting Circuit, they've got a club event. Zone 7 has got karting that's going to be happening on Saturday. And then also, as we said, Cape Agulhas Raceway, they're going to have the season Alla Grande finale, which is coming up next weekend. Well, while we're on that one, let's have a chat with the main spokesperson, Gavin Swart, being busy this evening. He said, how about speaking to Reino? He does like a lot of the social stuff for us and what have you. Reino Alberts, good evening to you. Are you well?
Hi, Gary. Thanks. Good yourself.
Lekker, man, lekker. Okay, so we've got the last meeting of the season coming up at Cape Agulhas Raceway. And from what we can see so far, it looks like the interest is pretty good. It's actually picked up. Hoe lyk dit jou kant?
Yes, no, we've got 42 entries at the moment, and hopefully, you never know, they might get a little bit more. But we've got some interesting stuff. Gates open at 10, and racing starts at 3, and we're gonna have a big pit mag race. All the stock rods, pink rods, junior stock, 1660 guys, they're all gonna have a go at each other. And afterwards, I think there might be some private cars. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Are we referring to a spectator race?
That is correct, yeah.
Lovely stuff. Well, it's actually the safest place to go for a spectator race because it's virtually a tar surface. It's much easier than the gravel, much less chance of damaging your wife or your granny's car when you go and ride with it. So, yeah, definitely. Reino, in terms of the track going forward, I know you're speaking now on behalf of Gavin and his wife. After this meeting, is there plans to move on forward? What does the future hold for Cape Agulhas Raceway?
Definitely, there will definitely be more races. They are, as far as I know, they're planning 10. You know, the next season is going to be 10 races, and they're going to look at doing a big Zuidpunt Huurskappe again. And we're actually taking hands with some of the other clubs to see if we can do a vice versa race. You know, 1 here, 1 there. So no, there's definitely a future here.
That's fantastic news. Okay, and in terms of the grounds themselves, I know you are connected. Your dad's been there all the decades, probably almost 3-4 decades. Are we pretty safe that as long as we can provide cars and public, that the premises will still be available to the motorsport public?
The premises will, well, the meeting I had, I was told as long as there is going to be cars or some kind of racing, the premises will be available for as long as needs be.
Wow, that is awesome. Any changes or anything that is planned to the clubhouse and the camping sites in the near future?
I don't know. I'm speaking on behalf of Gavin and Leandria. I don't know all the plans, but there will probably, you know, as we get the spectators back, I would assume that some of them will also want Lewis's and you know, a nice stand and stuff. But yeah, as far as I know, normal upgrades, and we see what happens.
Fantastic. So the next meeting is going to be on what date? 27th.
27th, this coming Saturday.
In fact, you know what? I think I've actually got a poster of that. Let me see if I get the right one first time around. Old thumbs. Nope, that's Luca Patat. Old thumbs. Nope, that's Rally Sprint. Old thumbs. Nope, that's also Luca Patat. Well, I do have one somewhere. I don't know where it is. But I will anyways, Wachabiki, last gasp effort. No, still not.
That's wrong. Yeah.
Everything except for the one we're looking for. But the 27th, it is going to be. Reino, thanks very much for what you do in the background. I know you've been doing lots in the background. It's only now that Gavin has now sort of like put you up front there for us. But a lot of people that know what you and many other people are doing in the background. Dankie. Ieder en elkeen van julle, van almal van ons wat lief is vir die sport, vir elkeen wat so 'n klein bietjie insit en dit moontlik maak om so 'n baan oop te hou sodat ons as spectators en kommentators en drywers almal nog daar kan kom oor jare en jare van nou af, dat dit nie heeltemal wegval nie. Baie dankie van ons almal af. A closing word from your side.
Thank you very much, Gary, and all the guys that's helped me. I've got 2 friends here tonight. We just finished up some stuff on the car as well, and all the sponsors. And thank you very much. We do it for the sport.
There we go. That's some good news. So Cape Agulhas Raceway are going to be having their club final 27th and then plans for next season as well. So that is brilliant. Right, let's have a quick softy at what is happening in Formula One. Max Verstappen leading out in 110, 85 to Sergio Perez. Sergio doing what he needs to do, beat everybody else and not get in Max's way. I never quoted that. Charles Leclerc ahead of Carlos Sainz. Remember, Carlos Sainz without a drive for next season. Charles Leclerc having to do big stuff to remain the number 1 there, keeping in mind that Lewis Hamilton's joining him next year. Then we've got Lando Norris that is just ahead of his teammate Oscar Piastri. He's actually managed to make a bit of a gap now, which is exactly what he needs, because Lando Norris has to beat out on Oscar Piastri, the new kid on the block that's already won a sprint race. Lando not having won a sprint race or a Grand Prix yet, and never really been challenged. Now starting to Oscar Piastri. George Russell doing what he needs to do, staying ahead of Lewis Hamilton, keeping in mind he is staying with Mercedes-Benz. Lewis Hamilton is not. If he wants to be the head honcho with whoever is going to join him, maybe Fernando Alonso, next season, he needs to come out tops, and he's doing so. 7th overall in the championship, that ahead of Fernando Alonso, who obviously is the lead driver for Aston Martin. Lance Stroll getting a hand this weekend after going into the back of Daniel Ricciardo, and Daniel Ricciardo was up at that stage of the fight, and that's caused quite a bit of problems. But either way, that's the way that it is. The next Formula One race will in fact be at Miami, and there you see the dates, the 3rd through to the 5th. Bit of a turn up for the books with MotoGP. Jorge Martin on 59 points to Bastianini. Is having the best race weekend for a long time that he's ever had, probably, coming through on 56, 2 points ahead of the new kid on the block, the 19-year-old Red Bull Gas Tech 3 rider Pedro Acosta. It's on 54. Bagnaia, who was in the top 3 at the end of last year, once again ahead of Brad Binder. Brad Binder going into the weekend in 2nd position on the Red Bull KTM factory machine. With 42 points, only adding 7 points, having crashed out in the first of the qualifying session, starting 17th, not getting into the points in the sprint race, and then getting through to 9th in the main race. But keeping in mind that there's 6 people that went and dropped their bikes. He made up 7 positions, so he just did not have the place. So they say Espargaro in the Aprilia from Marc Marquez, almost on a victory, and goes and dumps it going into turn number 1. Can't believe it. It was going so well. He worked his way through the pack. He actually had gone 2 first, and when he dropped it, he was actually leading the race. Gianantonio is starting to put the right kind of form together for the Portomini Enduro VR46 racing team. And then Jack Miller, the man that ended 11th last year, the second of the KTMs behind Brad Binder, that ended in 4th position, and he now finds himself in 10th overall. Looking then at their next event, 26th through to the 28th, that'll be next weekend for MotoGP. Going across to the SA GT and SAES series, 26th, 27th, that's going to be at Zwartkops. So obviously that is going to be a goodie. There's no doubt about it. And I'm actually going to show you a little insert now from Stephen Koenig that is going to be Mike's side with that one. Looking at the Extreme Festival, we've been to Killarney, we've been to Kyalami, going to Swartkorp 17th and 18th of May. So a bit of time before that. Remember, this weekend, the biggie, National Hot Rod Tour, 27th of April, Sits Bay, the home of the Loosemores. That's where it's going to be. Und our own Kwesiwe is going to be up that side of the world as well. Keep in mind, 15th of June, don't miss out on that. Remember the original 1616 National Challenge. It's now become the Border Challenge, and numerous other classes have been added in. Some serious prize money there, and the Golden Cam Solutions getting involved with that one and saying, guys, let's put the money down. Let's get all the right cars this side of the world. So that's going to be the 15th of June. Don't miss out on that one. And then remember, at the end of June, 29th of June, I think it's about the 27th running of the Richard Christian Repres Klein Karoo Championships. And as FC puts on that poster, not normal, because it's not a normal event whatsoever. It's going to be something else. It always is. It always is amazing. There is no doubt about it. Then also remember, 2nd to the 5th, Samoa Hill Climb. That was done with 22 days to go. There's a lot less than that. I'll be flying out Thursday morning up to George, getting Charles Walters as Bucky. Thanks, Charles Walters, for being of assistance with that one. And then I will be going to that place. And, well, if you look at it from that point of view, they see by the start-finish line, those 2 green containers. That's where I will be for the weekend. So definitely not one to be missed whatsoever. Something else that's happening over the course of the first weekend in May, Rally Sprint for All. So that one also pretty interesting. Had a quick chat earlier on with the man himself, Niels, and this is what he had to say about their upcoming event. Right, so I normally like to do this week what's happening this weekend, but there's something happening next weekend that I think you should know about this weekend so that you can plan for next weekend. And what am I talking about? Rally Sprint for Oil, 4th of May. And it's slightly different to the norm. I suppose not everybody knows what Rally Sprint is. They call it the Highway Sprint. So why do they call it the Highway Sprint? The man that knows all about it. Niels, good evening to you once again. Welcome. Are you well?
Yes, Gary, are you well? Yes, I'm well, thank you.
Fantastic. So you've got an event coming up on the 4th of May, and you're referring to it as the Highway Sprint. Okay, first of all, let's just accept, maybe not everybody knows what Rally Sprint is all about. We all know what Rally Cross is. Well, hopefully we all know what Rally Cross is. What's the difference between Rally Cross and Rally Sprint?
Okay, so Rally Sprint is basically a very smaller format as for normal rally, the bigger rally and then national rallies. So you've got a navigator and a driver. So you've got stages that varies from 2 to 5 kilometers each, and you've got maybe 5 different stages that you run. Every car in its class. The quickest in a class is obviously then the winner in that class, and then when a smaller or slower car or lower CC car wins a class that's got a more that's faster in a different bigger class, then they will score extra points. And last year we had the overall winner was the 1000cc Mini. Consistency once again is the norm. And it pays off eventually, and a bit of madness as well to drive it that way. Okay. Yeah,
It's actually a brilliant way that you've described it there now, because I mean it's a full rally, but it's in a shorter sprint format, and it is at a destination to be determined, as opposed to going to a rally cross track as such. Okay, this one on the 4th of May, you call it the Highway Sprint. Why? What's the difference?
Okay, so we came upon this location. The bigger rally, normal rally guys, they use that all these years. So it's a sand mine, and we use that, and it's flat, and a little bit faster. I try to keep the sprints shorter, straight distances, to keep it, to make it safer, as we don't, roll cages are not compulsory, and all the other much more costing of the sport. So that's why I keep it shorter, more spectator friendly as well. And you can use your road car. Literally, you can use your Ford Figo, Golf, whatever you've got, stock car, pipe car, Land Cruiser. Anyone is welcome. You don't need to pay a license fee. There's no, you only pay your entry, which is 450 Rand, and you do your stages and have fun. And at the end of the day, we've got a prize giving, and we're going to try to make it a little bit, start quicker and stop earlier, so that the guys that might want to come and have a look at Rally Sprint for All, they can pop in Darling, and when we finish, everybody or who else wants to go to the Patat, Snoek and Patat, they can then drive off and it's on their way.
Now, that's what I call organization. So there we go, folks. Rally Sprint for All. You can find that poster on the Second Gear page. You'll see Niels's number there for entry fee. Yeah, I would say that's not a bad idea, because that means you can do that and you can then do the Snoek and Patat all in one. Makes a whole heap of sense to me.
Yep, but you've been saying a lot of times that you want to come, so maybe you can just rock up there and just have look at a few runs, and then you can go off to your commentary or whatever.
I unfortunately, once again, and I'm actually going to be missing out on Snoek and Patat. I'm going to Samola Hill Climb. I'll be flying out on Thursday morning to Samola Hill Climb, the biggest meeting of Vescus Oval for the season, and unfortunately, I'm missing it. There's going to be 91 entries that is already in for that one. So it's going to be over 100. It's going to be a biggie. But I like the way that you've put it together. So, Niels, thanks very much for joining us. And I'm gonna be joining you soon somewhere along the line. Well, folks, there you have it. There is the trick. Go through the Darling. Go and have a look at Rally Sprint for All. I'm going to put this up now on the Second Gear page. Give Niels a shout. Get the finer detail exactly where they are. And then you do the whole trick. You don't have to do any gardening on Saturday whatsoever. So before we bring tonight to an end, one more thing that I want to show you. Remember week before last, I had a chat with the people from Master Drive, and they said that they had a driver competition. There was a young lad that had come through very strongly, going through all the different phases of what they're doing, and he's actually going to get a drive at the Samola Hill Climb. So hey, I want to meet the luckiest young lad in Cape Town. I'd like to actually meet this guy, because he's won the competition. He's been trained and guided, tutored, been given track time, skid pan time, and he's going to be able to go to the most probably prestigious meeting in South African motorsport within months of winning the competition, and actually go and have a run up the hill on Classic Car Friday. So let's meet this young man that is one of the luckiest, happiest 20-year-olds in the whole of Cape Town, in the whole of South Africa, probably. What an opportunity that he has received. So remember last week we spoke about Master Drive and the involvement of Eugene Norse with the Samoa Hill Climb, and he mentioned that they did a driver search and they've got a driver that's going to actually be taking part in the Samoa Hill Climb. Now, I mean, Samoa Hill Climb is like by invitation. You can say, I want to be there. This is my call. This is what I can do, what have you. But like, you're not invited. You don't get to be there. So there's one extremely lucky and highly talented young man in the Cape Town area that joins us this evening. Shoaib, good evening to you. Are you well?
All well in you. All well in you.
Fantastic. So Shoaib, you've won the Master Drive Driver Search 2024, which is encompassing a whole lot of different opportunities, let's call it that. So let's go back to before you put your name up for the Master Drive Driver Search, knowing what all was involved with this. What is your history in motorsport before that fatal change in your life started?
So before this whole driver search, I was a very, very big Formula One fan, and I still am today. From the time I was young, maybe 7, 8 years old, I've always watched motorsport. For the past few years, I've been following the Samoa Hill Climb. But yeah, otherwise, I've had no real experience and things like that. And it's mainly obviously because of financial reasons. And I mean, motorsport is a very expensive sport to get into. So yes, I'm really blessed with this lovely opportunity they've given me.
Well, look, motorsport is the only sport that's going to make a millionaire out of you. The only problem is you've got to start off as a billionaire. Otherwise, it ain't going to work. So what have you actually raced before this period of time started now?
So the only thing I've raced is go-karts at Century Karting. I've done some endurance racing there, but all social events, nothing too professional, nothing too hectic. So this is the first real taste of motorsport for me.
So this is the longest shot you've ever taken in your life. Okay, so what has happened from the time that you were accepted into the program, and what activities and opportunities have come your way up until now?
So I've met amazing people. So I don't know if you guys know Performance with Paige. He's been coaching me on the skid pan for the past week, 2 weeks. And then last week I was on track with Claudio from RDSA as well as Tristan. So yeah, those guys are the best. They are the best coaches in the country. So I'm taking everything I can get from them. And yeah, just learning and implementing everything.
So I take it you must be a naturally talented driver to be able to go from Briggs and Stratton go-karts at Century Karting to the level you are now. When you go out with Ernest on the skid pan, is it sort of like just basics, lock up, do this, do that, or is he already getting into the more advanced stuff with you to prepare you for what can and will happen going up the hill?
So yes, we have definitely touched on the more advanced things. So we set up a gymkhana course, and we basically do the course. We do timing. We can find more time, maybe different lines, carrying more speed, carrying less speed, scrubbing. Just all the small technical, also just to put everything together as well.
Wow. Okay, so what are you going to be driving up the hill with a Samoa next weekend?
So I will be driving a Ford Fiesta race car. It's a nice little car. I'm yet to meet her, but yeah, I'm very, very, very excited.
You shouldn't maybe get a little bit of seat time with this car before you go flying up the mountain? possibly?
Yeah, so hopefully, but before the end of this week, I will have my first seat time, and then beginning of next week, and then yeah, we're off to Samoa.
Oh, okay. When you talk about seat time in the racing car, will that be on Killarney International Raceway?
Yes, hopefully on the short circuit.
So you're in a bit deep.
I'm in very deep, very deep.
Oh my sainted plant. Okay, well, I'll be flying up on Thursday morning up to George, picking up a vehicle in George, and then going through to the where's it? The St. John's. The St. John's Hotel, I think it is, out that side of the world. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So I'm going to be doing Legends of the Hill 2024. I think your story warrants making you part of that series as well. If you can, please ask Eugene to get some in-car footage when you go out onto Killarney main circuit with that motor car. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on Friday on the mountain. I think you're going to have the most amazing time of your life. What an amazing opportunity this is. A closing word from your side.
I just want to thank everyone that has obviously given me this opportunity. Something like this could have never happened for me. And yeah, I just hope everyone enjoys the weekend in Neisner, and everyone should support me as well.
What an opportunity. You're going to go up a mountain you've never seen. You're going to drive a car you've never driven in. And the biggest thing that you've raced before this opportunity with go-karts, with public go-karting, that is a story of note. It's one that I'm going to cover, I'm going to follow. And let's just hope that fairy tale remains a fairy tale. Awesome stuff. Some of the nice things that happen in motorsport, and we're covering it with you here on the Second Gear Talks. Can you believe it? What an opportunity. Very lucky young man. Very, very lucky. I just hope that it all ends up going in the right direction, because he's been thrown in one hell of a deep side of the swimming pool, and it's going to be a mountain to climb. I think it's going to be one of the most amazing experiences of his life. Well, one more thing before you go, SA Endurance and SA GT Series. The man's going to be behind the microphone, Stephen Koenig.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of a Second Gear Talk Show. It's Stephen Koenig here, and thank you very much, Gary, for having me on I'm going to be broadcasting tonight, so I'm not there in person, unfortunately, but let me give you the heads up of what's happening this weekend. We've got the SA Endurance Series at Swartkorps, round 2 of the championship, and it's going to be a fantastic one. The battle between the Promogen Audi R8 of Paul Hill and Bradley Liebenberg is going to continue against the likes of the BBR Racing, Henk Laatsekon, Hein Laatsekon, and Visma Tavares' Porsche 992 Cup car. Plus, all eyes are going to be on Backdraft Racing's Slingshot 2.0 going to be at the front there. We're also expecting to see the Nova coming in of Nick Adcock. Now, to also go and talk about, we do have the V8 National Roadster Championship that will be around. Our Class C cars, Class D cars. We got 2 GT4 Lamborghinis in Class B that will be racing. Plus, we do have the Liqui Moly Super V joining us this weekend at Swartkorps. So it's going to be action-packed. It's going to be great. It's going to be out on Supersport, so take a look at 11 o'clock. It will be out there on Saturday. And as far as I'm aware, it will also be on YouTube as well, where you get to hear Gareth Burley, Nadine Wilkin, and myself chatting for a bit.
There you go. Remember when we did the competition for the best voice out there for budding commentators in South Africa? That was Stephen Koenig, and look how that man's evolved. Well, the hour is up. Thanks very much for joining. See you at a racetrack somewhere pretty soon. Don't miss out on Killarney. It's going to be awesome. There's no doubt about it. If you can't get to Killarney, go wherever else you can, but go and see some motorsport and enjoy. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Tuesday. And next weekend's going to be a biggie as well. Lots of motorsport. Make sure the gardening's up to date. Cheers, everybody.